What's up? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Tracy May. Welcome back to Depression Nest. Y'all know it's the end of the month. All your money is gone. So, what do we do at the end of the month? We do book reviews. And today, we are reviewing Don't Believe Everything You Think. And there were some gems. So go ahead and roll that theme song so we could get into it.
There was a time my house was neat and so was I. I was thinner back then. I would go out with my friends, but somehow that's gone bye-bye. Now I look around. There are piles strewn about. Is this dirty or clean? I'm finding out what it means. This is not just a house, it's a depression nest. I don't know how I got here. Depression nest, I don't know where to start. Depression nest, caving in on me. My life is simply falling apart. Depression nest.
Y'all know last month we read Atomic Habits by James Clear. This month, Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. This book was popping off real heavy on the TikToks, okay? All of the young millennials are talking about this book, probably because they're having crises. Same, honestly. Okay, so this book is very, it's not a lot to it. So it was a quick read. I will say that the read for me wasn't fluid. It was almost like he strung together a lot of philosophical sayings and then like made a book, because every sentence it sounded like we are the ones who control our destiny, for destiny is not the thing that we should decide, it is the thing that is decided. Were you silent or were you silenced? It was like that. It was giving very much like one like Zen shaman saying after another. And I don't know if he wrote it that way, because maybe through the research that he has done to be able to write this book, he probably has to read a lot of like Zen, guru, shaman, educational leaders. He probably had to do a lot of research in that realm. And so I could see how it could infiltrate your style of writing. So coming from James Clear, who had a more narrative style of writing, it was, almost like he was just talking to his friend, which is very easy for me to read. This one, I caught myself having to like read sentences over, because every sentence you didn't know like where the you didn't know where it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, did I miss the gotcha moment? Because I don't want to miss no gems. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to miss the word. In this book, I just dog-eared the pages that I wanted to talk to y'all about. But normally I would like highlight. I didn't even have a highlighter. So I would like highlight and like put a little tag that sticks out. Y'all know how I do. But this time we kept it real cute. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into the book. If you have already read this book, please let me know your thoughts. And, let's see if they jive with what I have to say. We'll see. So the first thing that I really had to grasp and get was really early on. I want to say it was like chapter 4. But when I tell you, see this much book I'm already at chapter 4. This much book. So it was very early on. It's page 20. Okay. He goes into thoughts versus thinking, having thoughts versus actively thinking. And basically, the whole premise of this book is that having thoughts is good because he says that thoughts come from, what does he call it? Hold on. He calls it something, and I'm like, that's interesting. It's like the infinite intelligence or something. I'll find it later. But reading from the book, he says, thoughts are the energetic, mental raw materials we use to create everything in the world. So thoughts, having a thought is a noun, right? So he's saying when you have a thought, it is a thing that you have. You have a thought. When you are thinking, it is a verb. You are actively doing something. And he says the thinking is what's doing you dirty, girl. He's saying you thinking too much. And so this is the first thing that I had to grasp because I was like, so you mean to tell me all this thinking that I'm doing is the thing that's doing me in? Like, that's what's making me feel bad. That's what's, probably keeping me depressed, keeping me down because I'm constantly like thinking and like reliving and worrying about the future. He says in the book somewhere, if you are in the past or the future, you are thinking because those times don't exist. Wait for it. Ooh, he said the past and the future do not exist. The past doesn't exist anymore and the future doesn't exist yet. Okay? So if you are thinking about something in the past, you are thinking. You have to recall that. That's something you forced yourself to do, right? If you are thinking about the future, you are thinking because that hasn't even happened yet. You don't know what the hell the future gonna hold. And look at you over here trying to think it to death already. This thought versus thinking thread is a thread that runs throughout the entire book. And I really feel like it is the main concept of this entire book. Basically, he's saying, stop thinking. Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson? Yeah. One of the things that I really did enjoy about this book is that he had some questions and then he would give you he said, take 15 to 30 seconds and really think about this before we move on, before you keep reading. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to do a couple of the exercises with y'all just to get y'all thinking. Let's see. Okay. So this first one is recall a time when you felt the most joy and love you've ever felt in your life. Feel those feelings that you felt as much as you can for 30 seconds, right? So we're there, something's happening, we're thinking about it. Almost feel as though you are there, relive that time, right? The time when you felt the most joy and love you've ever felt. First of all, when I tell you, I basically had to close the book for a second because I couldn't think of anything. That's sad. When you felt the most joy and love you've ever felt. I thought of something, but it probably wasn't the most joy and love I've ever felt. I really can't think of anything that I would consider like the most joy and love I've ever felt. I mean, of course, people would probably consider their wedding day or like when they had their babies. I don't have any of that. So I'm sitting over here like crickets, trying to think of something that brought me, love and joy. When you relive that moment, right? What thoughts were going through your mind at the peak moment of you reliving the time when you felt the most joy and the most love. What were you thinking about in that moment? Now take some time to really think about this, because not what you think about it now, but what you were actively thinking about in that moment when you were experiencing the most love and joy of your life. What were you thinking about then? What he says is a lot of people, when they answer this question, they realize that, I don't think I was really thinking about much. I was just experiencing the thing that was happening, right? Say it is you giving birth to your baby or whatever. It's not like the baby comes out and you're like so happy and you're like bursting with love and you're like, oh, did I turn the dishwasher off? Did I leave the washing machine door open or closed? Oh, that's gonna bother me. You're not doing that because guess what, girl? You just had a baby. He uses this as an example to show how at the times when people are feeling their most joy and most love, they are so in it, in the present of that thing, that they're not thinking. There's no thinking that's happening. You are just in the moment of what you are going through that's filling you to the brim with love and joy, right? Okay, so let's keep going. He says that some people might say that they felt grateful, that they were thinking that they felt grateful in that moment, but oftentimes they either felt grateful before the moment or after the moment, right? But right at the peak time of the moment, probably no thinking was happening. You were just in it. Okay, so on the opposite end of the spectrum, he asked this. Think of a moment when you were highly stressed or anxious about something. Picture that moment, and now think about how much thinking you were doing then. Now, I'm gonna tell you something about me. When I'm anxious or stressed about something, it is constantly playing in my brain all of the different ways it could play out. Okay, well, if this happens, then this, then this, then this. Me trying to like coordinate every single instance that could happen in my brain. So when he put them against each other like that, and I saw how they juxtaposed, I'm like, okay, I see what he's saying. When I'm stressed, I am thinking constantly. My brain is running, right? And when I am experiencing just like a good time, I'm just experiencing a good time. I'm not overthinking this good time. I am here. I'm loving it. Okay, let's do one more little question. If you had infinite money and you had already traveled the world and you had no fears about anything and you didn't have to receive any recognition for what you do, what would you do? What would you create? If there were no fears, no goals of trying to win an award or any kind of recognition, if you had already traveled the world, so take traveling out of it, and if you had all the money in the world, what would you do with your life? Think about that. This question is kind of critical because it basically removes most of the sort of things that hold you back from thinking big like that, right? So it removes the fears, it removes the doubts, it removes the financial burden, it removes the competition aspect. It removes a lot of the things that would just make you be like, never mind. That's me. I'll be on some never mind. Oh, you said it's a race? Oh no, I'm not gonna participate. Get somebody else to do it. Basically, he says that the answer to this question is your true dream. And it's probably the thing that you were put on earth to do. It is your ultimate calling, if you will. I will tell you this. He has like a lot of setup in the beginning because he has to like basically tell you where the foundation of his ideas and stuff come from. But then towards the end of the book, that's when he gets into your soul. Okay, that's when he just climbs into your ear hole and starts bouncing around in your head because ooh. This is something that he called me out about. He said, when we create something for something else, typically we do not enjoy the process of creating because it's just a means to an end, never the end in itself. This is why we always feel like we're chasing, grinding, hustling, trying, constantly stressed and overwhelmed. And then even when you do accomplish that goal, after that, you're just off to another goal that you have to chase because you never actually got what you were looking for. And so basically what he's saying is, this is for the people who just do things for money. This is just an example, but one example is just constantly doing things for money. You will never feel fulfilled because the money is basically something that gives you the tools to buy the things that you think will help you feel better, or to buy the things that you think will help you live the life that you are trying to live. Right? But in order to do that, you have to do things that you don't even like. And so you're making yourself miserable to have money to be able to buy things to make yourself feel better. So that's what he means when he's saying it's always a means to an end and it's never the end itself. So money isn't the end because you have to buy something that's going to make you feel better. Right? So instead of just figuring out a way to do something that you love and that makes you feel better in the process of doing it, you are doing hella things that you hate for the money that you want to get the things that hopefully will help you feel better about the things that you just had to do. Ooh, I don't know. It's kind of a word. He's kind of reading y'all, not me, because I don't like doing stuff. He reading y'all on that part, not me. Okay. This is where he started reading me for filth. And y'all know I love to share those portions. He said, so much in life is out of our control, and we can only control a very limited portion of it. And this is not to say that we just give up because we can't control our lives. It's quite the opposite. When we realize that we don't have to control and try to force everything to happen our way, we become free from suffering, pain, frustration, and begin to fall into this state of flow or non-thinking where things just all happen for us instead of to us. This statement really made me think about, when I was in my 30s and I just really wanted to get married. And I felt so frustrated because like when it came to anything else in my life, like when it came to school, I could go to school, I could study hard, I could get my degree. And when it came to even like getting employment, like I could really put myself out there, do interviews, I could probably get a job. You know what I'm saying? I could get my degree. Those are things that I feel like I'm in control of. But when it came time to get married, I couldn't control a person into loving me. Believe me, I tried, okay? Could not do it. Can't force a person into loving you. Can't force a person to want to marry you. You can't force an emotion from another person. So that's where I think that really hit me, is because once you start trying to control everything and everybody around you, you're doing too much thinking. You're not really standing in the present. You're trying to control something that you want to happen in the future, or you're trying not to repeat something that happened in the past. Magical things and miracles happen when we trust our intuition, We are literally stepping into the zone of pure possibility. And for this reason, we only need to know the what of what to manifest, not the how. Ooh, look, rewind. Why did I do that when I could actually rewind the clip? Like, just ignorant. He said, we only need to know the what of what we want to manifest, not the how. Take a minute. Take a minute. What do you want to manifest? Not how do I bring it to me? Not how does it happen? Just what? He said, for there to be creation, there must first be space. And I'm going to continue on because he hit it really hard right here with this Einstein example. He said, when Einstein was stuck on a difficult problem, he would stop working on it and play the violin. And as he played, the answer would come to him out of seemingly nowhere. Then he'd have the solution to his problem. Einstein had created space within his mind through non-thinking to be able to receive divine insights from the universe or from God or whoever you believe. I found this to be extremely true because I remember when I worked at this agency years ago, I had to tell my boss at the time that if you ever see me on YouTube, if you ever see me just like doing something that doesn't look like work, that's how I work. Because in order for my brain to come up with creative ideas, I cannot just be sitting there thinking about it like, that's not how my brain works. I have to walk away. That's why ideas come to people in the shower. That's why ideas come to people in their dreams. That's why ideas come to people when you're not thinking about it. You have to create space. Remove some of those thoughts, remove some of that thinking, and create space in your brain, and you open up a whole new realm of possibilities. That was a word. That was a word. He said, we're only ever one thought, one insight, one idea away from living a completely different experience of life. I have thought about this often, like, especially when I go on vacation. I be like, if I just made the decision right now to not get back on the plane and just live here, I would have a whole different life. Do y'all think about that? Be like, if I just made one decision right now, the whole rest of my life would be different. Or I could get back on the plane and continue living the same life. And lastly, one of the things that he said that really stuck with me was, everything you could ever want and need is already inside of you. You are already all the love, joy, peace, and fulfillment you seek. Just gotta stay in the present moment, find your flow state, stop all of that thinking. That thinking is driving you nuts. I'm talking to myself. I'm pointing at you, but I'm really pointing at me. This book is basically just all about staying in the present. How thinking in and of itself takes you either to the past or the future, and those times do not exist. That's basically the summary for this entire book. Do I recommend this book? Yes, I recommend this book because it's an easy read. It's very small, short. You can knock it out really fast, and there are some gems in here. So yeah, I definitely recommend this book. This was a great read for February. And for March, let's get into the new book that we're going to read. This one is called let me get it right. It's called The End of Procrastination, How to Stop Postponing and Live a Fulfilled Life. And it is by Peter Ludwig and Adela Schicker. If you have read this book and you have thoughts about it, or if you have thoughts about anything that I've said today that's from the book, let me know in the comments below. Y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this book review to all of your friends, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Einstein had created space in his mind through non-thinking or being in a flow of playing the violin. Oh, shit. It's getting real.